Hi, I'm Titli and this is my busy garden. The weather, as usual, has been very rubbish this last week. I've never known a summer like it, so wet. It does mean I can't get out in the garden as much to do stuff, so I'm making the most of the hours that I've got. Hubby's insistence on feeding the birds is causing a bit of a problem with the lawn. The birds are throwing so much seed out of the feeders onto the ground that it's making a real mess here. In the interests of marital harmony, I'm considering converting this area into an easy clean bird feeding area. It just so happens that these scorch marks, if you like, are about the same size as this area here. So when the weather's settled down a bit, there's going to be a bit more concrete to mix. And while we're on the subject of changes that I'm thinking about for this garden, this hotbine is on the list. I mean, it's just too rampant for this small space. I mean, look at it. You leave it for a week and it starts to climb all over the solar panels. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I mean, apart from the fact that it's greenery and it covers this trellis, I don't think it has any redeeming features whatsoever. It doesn't flower. So I think it's coming out, and I'll replace it with a nice, bright, sun-loving clematis or two. In the coming weeks, I'll execute my plan to completely replant the strawberry patch. And there are strawberry plants splattered all over the garden. All they seem to do is provide a great hiding place and food for all the slugs and snails. I need to think about protective measures for the blueberries in particular for next year, so I actually get to eat some blueberries. And I want to extend the fruit cage that's currently covering the raspberries to cover all of Soft Fruit City and keep the birds out. Yes, there are going to be a few changes around here in the coming weeks, mark my words. It's time to go fruit picking again. First, some raspberries. Dee 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 dee. Ooey. Ooey. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Then some blackberries. Not bad, enough for tea. And can you hear how the motor mowers started up? I don't know what it is about people around here, but they all seem to have motor mowers. I mean, none of them have a particularly big lawn. So what is it about motor mowers? Is it a guy thing? Oh. And I think the time has come to pick these apples. Not bad. I've left a few on the tree for later. Now, a few people have asked about my little pink lady tree that I've grown from a seed and whether I'm expecting to get any fruit from it next year. Well, the simple answer is no, partly because pink ladies are self-sterile, which means you need at least 2 of them to pollinate each other's flowers. But secondly, I'm not even sure that this thing is going to flower. And if it does flower, is anything going to pollinate it? So for me, it's a bit of an experiment, really. Let's see what happens next year. I've got a couple of huge runners on my blackberries, but there's nothing I can do with them at the moment until the existing canes have finished fruiting. But I can at least hold it in place for the time being. I've also got these 3 very long runners coming up off this rose, and again I can't really do too much with them until it's pruning time in the spring, but I can at least tie them to this trellis. That's better. As you can see, in spite of my vigilance, the caterpillars have been having a great time with my broccoli. Ho-hum, time for my daily inspection. Try and find the culprits. Oh, hello. This is what I'm talking about. Well, you're coming off, mate. And you, tiny one. And this is what happens when the caterpillars get into the broccoli heads. They just devour them. So here's today's little clutch of caterpillars. And somebody said they hadn't heard that butterflies were pests. I think I'm going to do something a bit radical and cut back, really cut back the leaves to get rid of some of these caterpillars. Look at these hiding in a line along the stem. They're really difficult to see sometimes. And another bunch hiding here, look. Well, in the end I decided that drastic action was required, and viewers of a sensitive nature may wish to look away at this point. Yep, I've been extremely brutal, but I tell you, for every caterpillar that I picked off and I showed you in that tub, there were at least 50 that I couldn't see until I cut the leaves off. Now it may be that by chopping all the leaves off, and hence the caterpillars, I've shocked the plants too much. Or maybe they'll recover. Who knows? Stay tuned to this channel to find out. My lemon balm and oregano have gone a little bit mad. Time for some treatment. I must say, it smells absolutely great when you cut this stuff down. That's a bit neater. I think I'm going to try and transplant the lemon balm and the oregano next year to somewhere else. But look what I found lurking underneath my apple spindles. Time for some WMD. What can I say except that it's still extremely green in here. Some of the tomatoes are showing signs of ripening, so I'm praying for a few more days of sunshine. Some of my chilies are looking extremely well. I'm just amazed by how well these are growing. But I'm just completely overcome. Literally. So there we go. I've got plans for this garden, and over the coming weeks I'm going to start to hatch those plans. Well, that's all I've got time for this week. Thanks for watching, and do join me next time in Titli's busy garden.